Welcome back, everyone, to The Hole in the World, an actual play set in the world of the Invisible Sun RPG by Monte Cook Games. I am, as always, your GM, your producer, your man about town, Zach, otherwise known as Great Zamino. I use he, him pronouns, and I am joined once again by my lovely cast members for perhaps the final arc of our game. And I can't imagine having done it with anybody else. So, Marcy, if you'd like to start us off.
Hello, everyone. I am migraine-free and therefore significantly looking a little bit less cool because I'm sans my sunglasses. And I'm back playing Gabrielle, the iconoclastic ardent apostate who hosts a choir.
Amazing. And moving down the overlay, Bill, if you would like to go next.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bill. I'm playing Maurice Webb, a stalwart empath of the Order of Weavers who turns tales into reality with a beast. Most recently, pulp action hero, Bullock Johnson.
God, what a man. Yeah.
What a man.
And finally, or not finally, but second to last, Hopper, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, what is Marissa? Chopped liver, Zach?
No.
Hi, I'm Hopper.
Hey.
And I'm not last because there's still another person here. My pronouns are they, them, and I am going to be playing, I don't know, somebody. We're going to find out. It's either Okris, the iconoclastic gallant apostate? No, not gallant. That's Twig. I'm not looking at it and I forgot. Ardent apostate who heralds endings, or Twig, the mendicant gallant apostate who heralds beginnings.
Well done. Well done. And finally, last, but most certainly not least, Marissa, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm first. You're all living in a different reality. Hi, everybody. My name's Marissa. She, her pronouns. I'm an editor of books and games and TTRPGs, and I'm known as Critical Kitten most places on the internet. And I play Curie von Hollingsworth, the first assistant librarian of the Order of the Vance. She is an aromatic stoic who understands the words, guardian of Zaleska's grimoire, maybe owner of King Nine's library now? Who knows? Maven of mirrors, mistress of monikers, and decidedly irreal part of the current of magic.
Fantastic. And yeah, so a lot's been transpiring just from the last few introductions, you can tell. So let me do everybody the service of a brief recap whilst our original opening track plays. In point of fact, I'm going to turn it on now. So, when last we left our vislae, you were all training and preparing for your return to Satyrine, while in the deeps of sleep in the blue sun, under the protection of Mara, the reclining god, you all made use of what is known as dream time, or stretched, dilated time within the blue sun, in order to spend your time preparing for this last entree into whatever awaits you in the City of Notions. But after some strategizing and after a couple of brief arguments, all of you banded together to use the back pathway of Curie's way into King Nine's library in his Candle Flame Keep to find yet another back channel into what is currently the invaded Vancian library, or Vancian Campus. As far as you know, you without any kind of eyes on the situation beyond Mott, who has been appraising you somewhat of what has been occurring, you can only assume the worst about what is going on in Satyrine. So basically, you have, with this understanding, all of you entered into King Nine's library, where you found restrained within an invulnerable orb or globe, trapped in kind of animated suspended animation, which was a kind of like she was essentially aware of time's passage but never needed to eat, drink, or sleep. Avelia, the daughter of King Nine, who you rescued, Kiri, by inverting the very nature of the invulnerable globe and using for the first time the infinity aggregate in order to do so. Unfortunately, this triggered every alarm possible in the Candleflame Keep, and you were quickly confronted by King Nine, as well as Patrol, his paramour, and his bodyguards. And just as it seemed like you guys were going to play a massive game of the Spider's game for triple or nothing your lives, or everything you could lay hands on, including Avelia, a creature of fiction, of pulp fiction in particular, manifested himself as all of you saw for the first time. Maurice's pulp hero creation, Bullock Johnson, who fired a disintegrating ray into the heart of King Nine, who bemoaned just the ignominy of this defeat before being reduced to ash, sending quite literally everybody either gobsmacking in gaping with gaping eyes in horror, or fleeing in mortal terror of whatever this pulp hero would do next. He escaped into the wild blue yonder, whilst all of you managed to take some time to pilfer some of the items that were on display within the trophy room. With Avelia in tow, presumably, you are now headed to the Vancian Campus. And it is from this point that we are going to pick up. You have made use of the back channel from King Nine's library into the Vancian Campus, and we will pick up from there. So, tell me what this looks like when all of you arrive. Kiri, why don't we start with you, because you know this place like the back of your hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think we come in through, quite literally, the back channel of the Interlibrary Loan, which leads into the A.R. Quarian Memorial Library for rhizomatic studies, the library of which Kiri was, and still is, an assistant librarian. It's very familiar to her coming into this. It's almost like when they emerged from the war report. You know, it's like kind of going through this tube where you sort of jettison, like those pneumatic tubes that just thump, they show up, and there's your document that you've ordered from deep within the inner pylons of the library. And so we arrive in that manner. I think, I mean, you tell me, Zach, the halls probably seem dark. I imagine whatever's going on right now, the library is not the main fixture or focus.
It is not. It is rather dark and kind of shut down, as though all of the librarians have gone home or were barred or removed from the library, the facility. However, there are whatever kind of perfunctory or kind of basic lighting fixtures that are available here, should you need them. However, I think the thing that is most kind of terrifying to you in this relative solitude and quiet is the sound of rumbles, the sound of almost like ordnance going off in the world outside of this facility. There are shouting. There's all manner of like panicked cries. There are seemingly imperious, authoritative voices making commands, the orders of which basically sound along the lines of stand down, surrender. You realize that what is happening outside of the campus is utter chaos. Whatever you exit out into, you know to be prepared for the worst.
Yeah, and I think there's a real contrast between that and the immediate environment, where within the A.R. Aquarian Memorial Library of Esoteric and Rhizomatic Studies, it is so quiet, so dark. There's just piles of books sitting silent, these stacks that are creaking under the weight of these volumes that are piled high. And it's almost as though, at least for Kiri, she's somehow home but not. She's on a stage, and yet she doesn't really belong there as a performer anymore, or as part of it. It's like she's looking at this space upon which she once trod the boards, and yet it somehow all looks like set dressing to her now. And I think this is heightened by the contrast between sort of these boom, boom, loud noises, and between that and what's within the library, which is just this almost like a tomb, just this like silent, unstirring kind of environment.
So there is a term that was introduced to us in the films of Akira Kurosawa, which my own wife and wonderful GM reintroduced to our group. And what I would like to ask you to do is, in this moment, what is a moment from your past in this city that you cherish and are fighting for? If any of them come to mind.
Is this Kiri or anyone?
Kiri.
Okay. I think she remembers her ceremony becoming a first assistant librarian, how she was becoming a part of something, a moment when she was given the sort of hierarchy of the Vance that at times can feel like it's binding and bureaucratic and like you have to jump through a lot of hoops you shouldn't necessarily have to. Here it felt very sacred, almost, in a way. It felt very like she was becoming a part of something larger than herself, and she had never felt that before in the moment where she stood along with all the other postulants who were becoming librarians, and these older, second assistant librarians, associate librarians were conducting the ceremony of giving the keys, as it were, to the library to these younger librarians. Were passing it on. It also came with these sort of honorifics, and a little bit of pomp and circumstance, but like meaningful pomp and circumstance. And it was certainly not only this is this is a Vancian library, and as such, the things that live within its bowels are not just books. They're given knives and sortiers and all manner of different things that live on a key ring that a librarian might need at a moment's notice to deal with whatever may be found within the archives, living or not. And I think that was the first time Kiri felt herself connected to something bigger than herself, like she was becoming more of who she was.
Absolutely. And that moment that you can almost at the hint, at the edge of your perception, smell the tenure cheese of all of the parties and quiet kind of seminars and gatherings of you and your fellow postulants. What in this hectic moment are you looking for in your old place of study, or are you merely looking for a way to secret yourself around the campus?
I mean, for Kiri here, this is very much because she knows this place. And I mean, this is for her an armory, like for her, this is where she knows what books contain what powerful spells, what books contain what knowledge. And what really limits her is her ability to carry things. But,
Absolutely.
She's doing things she's never done before. I think as she emerges, she immediately goes to a specific stack, pulls a volume, rips a page. This is not something you really normally see Kiri doing, defacing books. But here it is very studied. It's very calculated. She's gathering material. She's gathering the knowledge that will be needed and weaponized to face what is on the outside.
Okay. So before we continue, very important note. Alinea, or not Alinea, pardon me, Allegra, Mott, and Avelia. Where are they? Are they with you? Did they go elsewhere?
I feel like Mott's definitely still with us, and Allegra, but I don't know about.
Yeah.
Can we pull a
Yeah,
card
yeah.
to see if Avelia stayed or not?
Yeah, I mean, we did tell her come with us, but
We did.
Yeah, but
she's
as in
her
like
She
come
was
to
just handed a
Saturine.
crown.
Yeah.
own- That's true.
Yeah, that is very fair. I am going to pull a card. Oh, this is fun. I believe this is the Savage Sword.
Oh, hey.
Meanings: war, savagery, strength, violence, and brute force. The sword is a weapon of war, a metaphor for any kind of weapon one might wield. The savage sword is our basest nature, our predilection towards violence, and our shameful bloodlust. It is also our strength to overcome obstacles and foes when we need to. It is the opposite of thought, strategy, or consideration. It is immediate and decisive, without hesitation or regard for consequence. The savage sword is the opposite of the revealing knife in most respects. Some kind of conflict is imminent. Almost certainly blood will be shed. But this can go either way. It might be danger to the person in question, or it might be a recommendation that they must use violence or brute force to succeed. This card turn can also indicate strength or even a specific individual who is known for their physical prowess. So
You straight up told her to come down to the party.
yeah, absolutely. That I was gonna say. So for everybody that is watching, based on the fact that they now have access to all 4 seeds of truth, they now have a card in the suit deck, all of our vislae, that represents them. And in this case, this card represents Gavriel Glinsky. So in this, or rather, Gavriel Kazan. So in
Yeah,
this
they're both
moment, yeah, both true. But in this moment, it is your decision as to whether or not she is here. She is here. That said, there's just like a thrum, almost like a hair standing on the back of your neck. Like the feathers in your crest begin to almost kind of hike up a little bit as you feel a heightened awareness. You know that between the violence and the blood being shed outside, that more is inbound and it is imminent. What kind of runs through your mind as you see Curie rifling through things, and then you hear Mott seemingly say, "What are we looking for?"
I know that we're here for a very clear reason, and if Curie needs some piece of information that could help turn the tide, Gav is not going to stop her. She knows the Vancian Campus and the library better than Gav does, and whatever its secrets holds. Gav isn't privy to that, but Gav does trust Curie to get the job done before we go take on Oda class. So I do think, if anything, Gav is watching, like once we got in here, it's watching the doors, watching, it's Saturday, so it's like watching the walls. Anyone could come from anywhere. We're in the freaking Vancian Campus. So just head on a swivel. I've got some spells ready to pop off if we need to. And like maybe Gav just sort of whispers not to rush you, but if we could get what we need and get out of here.
Yeah. And Curie's going. She's just like ripping spell. It's mostly she's gathering spell text. She's gathering like stuff that could be wielded.
Okay. So in that case, what I am going to do is, Gavriel, I need you to make me a perception roll.
Absolutely.
As you kind of keep your head on a swivel.
I'm
Curie,
gonna bop a bene into that. Why not?
Curie, I need you to make a magical lore roll. I'm going to pull a card to see what you can find.
Yes.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
I wanted to take an incantation. Sorry, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
I am able to have one. What's it called? A conation incantation. I get to choose what it is.
Okay. What do you got?
And I'm choosing the hour is thin. And the hour is thin says a person you touch will make a very important discovery or answer to an intellect-based question in the next few hours.
Amazing. I love that.
And Maurice is kind of gripping the leather on his new diamond sword here that he picked up from King Nine's spoils, and sets it down to his side and puts a hand on her back and says, Kiri, you know, when you proposed the spiders game, I was in all the way, and pats her on the shoulder.
Kiri doesn't even look at you, like she's so focused on rifling through, but she just says, I know, of course you were.
Allegra is similarly like looking around, she is looking in places that you are not looking. Meanwhile, Mott is similarly keeping his head on a swivel. Lastly, is it Okris? Yeah, is it? I need that roll, but also Okris and Twig. What are you guys up to?
I think Twig is present here. But it's hard for anybody else to really tell at this point. They've started to flicker back and forth often enough. But I think just kind of poignantly looking at all of these books, and there is a sense of like deep pondering and like kind of not regret. Regret would imply that there's something to be sorry for or something that's been lost. But grief, I think.
Okay. I think in this moment that, I think that you are kind of afforded this moment, and I'm going to first resolve this roll with perception, but I also want to give you kind of this sense of Ma, and I kind of want to know what the two of you are thinking about. But first off, let's resolve that perception roll.
All right.
What you got?
What's my target?
I'm gonna say that you're gonna need an 8 on this.
Okay. Pop the bene. Rolled a 7 on the dice, so with that bene, it is going to bring it to exactly 8.
Okay. There is a flicker that you see out of the corner of your eye, unmistakably movement within this study. That said, before we resolve your next action, what is the thing that is giving you grief in this moment, Twig and Okris? And is there a moment that you reflect on in your time, if not in Saturnine, then in the actuality, that makes you wonder what you're fighting for?
Muted, baby.
Oh, you know what? It helps if you unmute yourself. Did you all know that?
Honestly,
We've only
really
been streaming.
mysterious, though. I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, we've been streaming for 7 years. It's fine. There's no reason I should be good at this by now. So yeah, I think looking around at all of this knowledge and all of this stored and inscribed and encoded and enshrined knowledge, there is just a reminder that, time is short. Knowledge used to fuel them, and it doesn't anymore. And I think Twig's not fighting for the actuality. Twig's fighting for what comes next. Because what's currently here is kind of boring, isn't it?
Okay. In that case, I will file that away. So I drew a card for your search, Kiri, and that is the Eternal Mountain. It augments green, it weakens pale. Its meanings are unchanging solitude, memory, eternal, and long life. It is Vision Swan's blade and water. The mountain stands alone and unchanging. It always has and it always will. Some find this compelling, others terrifying. The mountain sees all and never forgets what it has seen. Eternal Mountain is the location card of the Visions family. A challenge that lies ahead is insurmountable. Conversely, if one is on the defense, one can weather any storm, any assault, or any ill fate. Eternal Mountain is in general predicts a long life, but it can also suggest that one should move forward alone, particularly to better reflect upon the past. A structure or object remains strong and intact, an NPC of great age becomes involved, an NPC will not be changed. Someone remembers something important. We all hope and dread to reach the Eternal Mountain one day. So in this case, I'm going to give you an option, Kiri, which is you can look for something that pertains to the nature of what is unchanging or what has stood the great deal of the test of time, which in this case is the actuality. Or you can try to learn something about about Gavriel's specific need, which is, essentially trying to find out about, enchantment and undoing powerful magic.
There's something very poignant, I think, about this card being drawn in this circumstance, because also just like reflecting, this is a location card, right? And the very location they're in, this library that has in many respects stood in for the fact that Kiri doesn't have a house. Kiri doesn't have a home. And now actually this home is feeling more like a stage she's performing on, almost echoing what, Twig said about, like, this used to be the place she lived, and it gave meaning to her life, and now it feels like she's going through emotion of something she kind of no longer is a part of. But yet the fact that all of whatever is happening outside the doors of this library is, they've left this, right? It's no one has rifled through these shelves. It's not like all of the material is gone, or that they've deployed it or they've used it. There is this eternal mountain of just ancient magical lore and history that whatever is happening outside, they aren't using that knowledge. And so I think Kiri here is being driven toward whichever of these paths, Zach, is about the deepest lore, or like the most ancient magical knowledge, the oldest, maybe it is about the foundation of the actuality here, because I think that's the knowledge that's here that Kiri knows is here, that whoever is fighting outside might not have thought to look deep within the bowels of the library for.
I love that.
Recite the deep magic to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
I was there when it was written. Except
So
actually she was, because she's a part of the current event. Anyway.
So no, this is perfect, because you are starting, as you look at things, starting to see the connections that you were unable to grasp when you were considering an existence inside of one or only a limited number of dimensions. Now your awareness is beginning to broaden. Now you see the weave. Now you know more about the current, having been inside it. And you have been listening, you've been looking through, and so much of what this institution studies is the language, is the words of magical spell writing, magical creation. And the thing that it strikes you, and I am going to need that roll.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do I get to apply the hours then?
Yes, absolutely.
Here? Okay.
I will say this. You may also, I am going to allow you to spend as much hidden knowledge in this moment as you want, in order to represent a discovery. If you hit 13, you discover, knowledge beyond mortal ken. If you hit 17, this is the equivalent of beginning to unravel the matrix, as it were.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Kiri has a ton of hidden knowledge, and you know what? If we don't spend it now, when are we going to spend it? So I think she will pump a decent amount of hidden knowledge into this.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, we're bringing out the bazookas in our inventory.
It's
the last level.
So let me ask you.
If you got them.
So let me ask you, how many hidden knowledge do you have?
Let me grab that number. for you.
Okay.
Hold, please, as I search for that part of my sheet.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about this is that there's always oh, there we are. Found it. Character sheets have so many tabs. We love it. 14.
Okay. So here's the thing. Even if you only roll a 2 on this, because you have one level in magical lore, plus whatever benes you want to spend, even if you roll a 2, you can spend all of your hidden knowledge to crack the actuality like an egg. Okay? But you have to decide whether or not it's worth it, because there might be other challenges that come up. So,
okay.
Make your roll, and then tell me how much you want to spend.
Right. Here goes.
Okay.
That is an 8 on the die.
Okay. Which means, assuming you want to spend bene, and then you can either spend like 8 hidden knowledge to get everything, or you can spend a couple of bene to conserve that for later. What do you want to do?
Sorry,
Okay.
what do we want to? How do we want to resolve the hours thin?
Great question.
Her being allowed to do this, she's gonna get something, but the level of what she is spending now
Copy.
gets her so much more.
So that's the success comes from the hour is thin, but how great a success it is coming from bene spend and hidden knowledge spend. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I mean, this is an intellect-based action, so it makes sense to pump a bene of intellect in it. Probably 2.
Okay.
I'll drop that, and then, so what? To get to
7,
then I got to spend 5 hidden knowledge of 14, so that drops me below 10.
Okay.
Let's do
Go
it.
ahead and spend that, and I will tell you the thing that you begin putting together in your head. So much of this is language oriented. So much of everything to do with this study. It's partly what drove you to want to execute your dissertation here. You know, you remember those nights working on one of many wolves, and the thing that you begin uncovering are analyses of the study of this of the language of the actuality, which in this case, there is something about kind of like the linguistics of everything, which is that everybody believes that the linguistics of kind of vislae language, of all of the language that are spoken in the actuality, is derived from the spellcraft of the actuality. And this is in part true. But the idea that you realize is that language has existed from the very beginning of the actuality, before there was any life to speak of. And you realize now that you know that the world is a spell, and that you have heard the voice of Vislae incanting the spell. You realize that she brought the language with her. It is not something that's spontaneously generated. And you realize, I think, this grand epiphany, which is that Vislae is not a god. She is an outsider. She is not just any outsider. You realize the way that she works. You look at your sister, who is a spell writer, who has a prodigious talent, and she looks at you, and she has the prodigious talent of writing spells and understanding language from a more holistic bent, and a way to kind of domineer it, and to take ownership of it, and as well as to distribute it freely. And you realize that Vislae is not a god. Vislae is an archmage. And essentially, what do archmages do? What do vances do? They impose their will on spells. Sorry, what was your answer?
No, they cast spells, which is in effect imposing one's will upon a spell in the context of Vancian magic, which is communicating with spells and dialoguing with them, not controlling them. Though that does depend on your philosophy, as we know from Allegra.
However, as with any spellcaster, there has to be some raw material, some spell power to work with. And in the absence of the actuality, what could she have actually cast it, the actuality with? Is one thing. So this is everything you get for a 17. I'm going to, because of this, because of Maurice's ability, I'm going to let you ask one additional question given this context, and I will give you a truthful answer.
Ooh. Ask you, Zach, or Kiri asking something of the knowledge base that she's consulting?
You may ask either.
Ooh. Don't say that to a meta magic player. All right. Is Vislae from wherever the labyrinth leads?
Oh, yes.
Great. So in that case, what Kiri gets from this and what she takes away is that there is somewhere something else.
Absolutely. You get that. And now we are going to resolve. Gav, you see a flicker of movement, of a figure moving in the back of the library. What do you do?
Guns out, guns out.
Okay.
I'm pulling out the rifle and tracking what I'm seeing. Not firing, because I don't know if it could be, a friendly Vance, a spell, but eyes on it. If it tries anything, I'm gonna fire. Let me rephrase. If it tries anything threatening towards us.
Okay. You see it pause. Whatever this movement is, it pause. And as you kind of look in the direction, it's almost like something is off about your vision, as almost like a light kind of catches your scope, like in a really odd angle. And you hear Avelia say, "Is that?" And then when you look up from the glimmer, it's no longer there.
Shit. We have to assume someone knows we're here.
Okay. I am going to say that while you are doing this, Kiri, you have been conducting this research. Allegra has been conducting her own research. And she looks and she says, "Got it!" And she grabs something, a sheaf of papers, from an adjacent desk not far. "I have something that can help us, but we have to exit out of here if we're going to find any other means. If we have truly been seen, this is a terrible place to be in. We're sitting ducks."
Much as I hate to agree with my sister, she's probably right. We should go.
You know this place better than the rest of us. Where should we go?
By my calculation, Oda Clempt is a Vance, and as a result, is bound by Vancian hierarchy. It means that most likely the administration building, that's where she would be used to holding court. That's where the president's office always is. That's where the heart of governance of the school is. I imagine that's going to be our most heavily guarded point. That's probably where they're holed up if I had to take a guess, but I don't know what defensives have transpired here in our absence.
Going to have to find out as we go.
There could be traps.
Certainly. Luckily, I can see anything that's being disguised.
Does anybody have anything else that they want to do in this place before you leave? Okay. So,
think
yeah, go
the
ahead.
only thing Kiri does as they're like going toward the exit is she picks up the nameplate that was on the desk that she sat at as first assistant librarian at this research library and pockets it.
Fantastic. Okay, you do that. All right, how are you exiting this place?
With swag.
Yeah, is Mott able to do that sneaky magic that he was doing before?
I will say that I will say that Mott will certainly attempt to do some sneakiness. I'm gonna
I
roll.
should
Yeah.
technically also still have Colliginous Raptor up from when we were in King Nine's trophy room, so that should also give us a bump to our stealth.
Okay. In that case, I need somebody to roll for Mott. I'm gonna draw a card to see. Actually, I'm gonna draw a card to see how Mott rolls on this. I am gonna give Mott +7 to this, and then on top of that, you go ahead and roll stealth for Collagenous Raptor, since it sounds like you're leading the group.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. All right. Enveloping darkness, which is invisible. Restriction, loss, and endings. Its value is 5. And it's literally a kid sleeping on a bed being swallowed by shadows and darkness. This is Mott's card. He was so afraid of the darkness beneath his bed, he neglected the darkness outside his window. Its value is 5, which means that Mott has rolled a 12. Okay? How do you do?
Wait. So here's the thing with Collisionous Raptor, it doesn't give me a number. It says it obscures sight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what else I should be adding into this. There's something specific. It's a level 2 spell, so maybe just the spell level?
Yeah, add the spell level, and then add any additional sorcery or benes you want to add there, and then roll your die. I'll give you 2 dice for this as well.
Would this be movement or physicality?
This is going to be movement.
Okay, totally fine. I'll add in that bene. Oh, hell yeah. I rolled an 11, 9 on the dice.
Okay. All right.
Wait, hang on. 9 plus 2 plus 1. I rolled a 12.
Okay. So
I can do math.
So 2 12s. And as you guys surface out of the Center for Rhythmatic Studies, you are seeing chaos on the campus. You see Thaw attempting to restrain protesting students. You see members of the Parasad fighting off what you all finally are able to perceive now that the enchantment of the Darkest House has been broken, which are pneumivores, large hounds that pounce on people, have large kind of like almost antenna-like tails at the back of their heads, and then use those to siphon memories from victims. You encountered them in the epilogue of the war report. Allegra, especially Allegra seems taken aback by this, as though she is struggling to remember something. As you remember, she had her memories hit by these creatures. Not only that, but you see that there has been basically some sort of destruction and chaos rained down on the campus, namely that there are parts of the campus that have been destroyed, parts of this quad and some of the manicured paths around this place have been blown apart as if by shrapnel and munitions. However, standing completely immaculate, you see the administration building. However, I will say that even with those 12s, you feel something's eyes watching you as you leave this place. What do you do?
I mean, as long as Kiri is sort of pointing, because Gab is not very familiar with the Vancian campus. So as long as I'm being directed to go into a certain area, we're fine, because I can keep the raptor will follow us as long as we're moving.
Okay.
I think
yeah.
Kiri, aware of these eyes, I think like sidles up to Maurice and just like out of the corner of her mouth, there's something.
Maurice says, "Go on," and Legend starts sniffing.
Yeah, you watch this massive mastiff search and begin looking out along the perimeter. And go ahead and roll a die, unless you want me to draw a card for Legend. Legend's level, I believe, is 7, right?
I think he's a little bit. I think he's level 5. I love the cards too much to turn down a card.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, this
level
one's
6
fun.
creature is what he is.
Level 6 creature. He rolled a 9 as he gets the Watcher, which is the sovereign of mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stone. The parental figure, sight, alertness, observation, and knowledge. The wisdom that comes from taking the time to observe and contemplate before acting cannot be overstated. The Watcher watches. He observes from afar, assessing and contemplating. He records what he sees and analyzes the data. He remains ever vigilant from his vantage point. Nothing slips by his eternal gaze. The sovereign of mysteries, the Watcher is a father figure. He shares his knowledge with those close to him and advises those he deems worthy. The movements of the stars are the thoughts of God given motion.
That's my sovereign.
Yeah. Excellent. A parent becomes a prominent figure. A watch person catches a criminal in the act. Something amazing is seen. Secret knowledge is the key to the significant problem or challenge. So, at this point, I think Avelia wanders a little bit away from the collagenous raptor, having taken in all of the destruction. And that is when you see, I think, Legend perceives and sees something like the one Numivore break off from a pack and begin advancing towards Avelia, breaking off at a gallop. All of you brace yourselves as this thing looks like it's about to pounce on her, when suddenly an invisible shield manifests in front of her and then reform around the Numivore, and you see wheeling up on her on their aid, their kind of mobility aid, this kind of floating platform with rotating discs in the air. You see Yadavastra. I hope I'm not late. And you watch as they take their hands, clap them together, and you watch whatever invisible barrier has formed around the Numivore crush it into a flat plane before it disappears.
Right on time, Grand Magus.
I just arrived. What's going on? What have I missed?
We're mounting an assault, I think. But we've just arrived ourselves. What's been happening? What's going on?
I had heard that there was chaos rioting in the streets. When I left my home, it was there were riots outside. I had no choice. I felt like I had to come here. There must have been some means in order to deal with the chaos. I didn't see any parasite in the streets. Something has happened to them. While they look at you, Maurice, you still feel as though you are being watched.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did Legend? Is this what Legend was smelling?
Legend keeps smelling, but as though I think that this distraction, I'm going to give you a point of despair as Legend loses the scent as Yadavastra arrives.
Do you
happen to know where Oda Claspers, Grand Magus?
Yes, she would be essentially residing in the administration building with the rest of the Telmeric court.
Do we care if she knows that we're coming?
I think we should.
Yes,
I just
Allegra.
assumed.
I would urge caution, most absolutely. I think you have the right instinct. Ota
You said you
is-
found something and we needed to leave. Should we leave?
There are many resources in the administration building that we may be able to make to avail ourselves of, and honestly, if there's any force that stands a chance of at least mitigating some of the destruction, it will be the Parasad. But I leave this decision in your hands. I don't know how much I can do alone here. What do you guys want to do?
I want... Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, Akiri looks to the rest of you. I'm not the battle strategist.
I think Allegra looks at you, Gavriel, and then looks to the rest and says, I have but one thing here that could help us with whatever is needed to neutralize the thaw. And she looks directly at you. I can create a monograph of whatever long-form ritual we might need. However, between these three grimoires, we have a great deal of power, but we don't have necessarily all of the materials or resources needed to make it a simple transcription. What is in that administration building could save us a great deal of time and hazard, but it's ultimately up to you.
Two things. If we think it's worth it to get rid of the Vespertine's potential very powerful Magus ally, that would certainly be in our favor. However, if we're walking into an absolute death trap, we're not going to be much good either way to the city or to the throne. But I might have something that I learned when we were in the blue that might be able to help distill some of what we have in the grimoire. My magic is instinctual, it's not learned. But maybe you might be able to help me understand it. And with that, we might be able to banish whatever they've done to my people. And if they don't have their police force, then they don't have much.
Very well. I can assist with this in a way. It still sounds like we haven't made a decision about... There. What do you wish?
Maurice wants to, in this moment, find and shut down this thing. He doesn't want to try and hide from it. He wants to find what's watching us. So, let's see. Can my forte do that? Not really. Can I?
If
Can
you
I?
think it's a spell, I might be able to help.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to do is understand, quantify, or identify magic. Right? That would be like a skill check
Yeah, absolutely.
to figure
are
out
you
what
trying-
this is.
Yeah, and I will give you... I'm going to give you +3 to this because you have been in the administration building before when Twig was seized by the effect of the demon bullet.
Okay. What pool would I be rolling from here?
This is going to be... Since this is magic, this will be magical lore. You can either make it intellect or you can weave together with sorcery. What do you want to
I'll
do?
make it intellect. I will have a base of 1, +3 from Zach, +3 from Bene, and I'll spend a sortilege to roll 2 dice.
Amazing.
Aren't we up one from the
Oh yeah, and plus one from the sovereign. Hell yeah.
Nice.
So that's all day plus 8 to the dice.
Hell yeah. By the way, anybody who rolls their card, you may treat it as though you rolled your sovereign.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Technically, in that case, then I think I rolled slightly higher in my perception, but we passed it anyway.
Actually, you said plus 3.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
then
better
what-
than sovereign.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
free-
shit. Well, I passed the test anyway while it was up.
My roll is a 14.
Okay. On a 14, what are you trying to learn?
The nature of the thing that's watching us. Is it a spell? Is it a physical thing that's here?
It's a person. It's a person
Well,
that
shit.
is familiar to you.
Does that
okay.
person have a name?
They do.
Does Maurice know it?
I think that even with a 14, actually, let me turn a card. That feels like a card pull. Yeah. Ooh. Well, now I have to tell you. It's the revealing knife.
Oh.
It
It's
is
looking out for us.
the color is pale. It diminishes green. It is vision, swans, blades, and water. It's revelation, discovery, and finesse. The revealing knife cuts everything. It slices through buildings or mountains as easily as paper or flesh. Anything that obfuscates what lies beyond or within is cut with precise strokes. We all long for such a tool to cut away the confusion and the lies, but we fear it as well. For what would such a knife slice away from us? What would it expose? The philosopher Timon Grain said, "We always assume that what lies beneath, buried deep, is what is real. But what if the truth is actually the outermost layer? What if the grandest secret in the world is that there are no secrets, and everything is what it appears to be?" Most believe the revealing knife to be the counterpoint to Grain's idea. When the revealing knife card is turned, it suggests that careful, precise action is required for what lies ahead. It indicates that there are secrets to be discovered, and whether their revelation is good or ill-tiding is up to the individual concerned. When the card is turned, most assume that the next card played on the Path of Suns indicates the nature of the secret revealed by the knife. All right. The blade carves away all that obscures, leaving truth exposed for all to see. You know this gaze. You know the feeling of who is watching you. You felt it when you first found yourselves in Lower Taverswood. You remember what it was like to feel your son's burning eyes upon your back, as almost as though glitching into reality from a distance. You see a Basil Fictorum step into your field of vision. And for a moment, he seems to stand and regard you. And then you watch as his form glitches and fractalates, and as though being like broken apart and then re-put together.
Basil, are you okay?
I'm better than okay. I would like to think.
You look fractured.
Well,
I look at Avelia.
she looks as if to move to embrace him and then stops as she regards him.
Legend slowly walks over and puts his body in between Basil and Avelia.
Oh, I see you've found a new companion. How much time did this one take for you to find? How much time could you spend on them that you couldn't spend helping me?
I have
Uh-oh, the
time now.
cleanses. They're cleansing.
I have time now.
Well,
Come with us.
I'm afraid.
Or are you
that's-
working for Oda Clasp?
And he looks as though he's going to say something. And then thinks better of it. Well, I would say that she might be the least of your worries. As the time that you have afforded me, I have managed to find a few allies of my own. And he clicks his fingers. And from different parts of the campus, you see walking from out of wreckage, people that lay in wait, all of whom you recognize. Gavriel, you see Nikolai, his entire body covered in chains. A chain link in place of each socket in his eyes. You see him call out, "Comrade, it's so good to see you again. I'm afraid this might be our last meeting for a while, unless you decide to see reason." And then, from the side of him, Okris and Twig, you recognize a figure that seems to float but you realize is completely enshrouded by a massive cage, one made entirely of brass that seems to grow into her body. You recognize a missing member of the Last Gasp, Ethereal Baub. One last breath for old time's sake. And finally, Curie, most tragically of all, you see a billowing form of flame as it manifests and moves in line with these three other figures. Now, Magister von Hollingsworth, what greeting can you spare for an old friend? And you recognize Ardeno Bookridge, except instead of made of piles of books, whimsically being able to be pulled from his body, you see at his heart a roaring flame. The books and the furnace that seems to light his form. At this point, Basil looks to all of you and says, "He knew exactly where you would be, because I told him once I saw things his way. And soon, I hope you'll see things his way as well. This does not have to end in bloodshed, Father.
How would you like it to end?
We just want to change your mind."
Funny you should say that. And I'm going to cast a spell.
And we are going to move into action mode. We are going to pick up right where we left off, and we were moving into combat. I'm all right. Sometimes I have to do a hard reset. Action mode. And for action mode, I feel like I should amp up the intensiveness of this moment with the music. Okay.
Hopper, can I have one of the Sour Patch Kids? Can you just pass that over here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So, I will say, we're going to turn a card to see who goes first. Just because you have to realize that Basil is an incredibly talented, preternaturally good detective. Which
You mean the sad boy?
The sad boy. The sad boy is going to turn a card. Ooh. And that card is the tyrannical clock. Invisible. Oppression, time, countdown, schedule, repetition. We live and die, quite literally, by time. It rules our actions, for we have no actions without it. We struggle to accomplish what we must by a certain time, or we face grim consequences. We eat, sleep, and even breathe, measured by the movements of the clock. It is our master. It is our enemy. By the ticking of the clock, by the breaking of your bones, by the shrieking of the flock, The tyrant revels in the moans. You watch as Basil Fictorum, the enemy of ingenuity, reaches out a hand towards you, his father, Maurice, and says, maybe perhaps you can understand what I felt. And he is going to clap his hands. I need you to make a level 10 resist roll as a number of pages surround you in almost like a spherical pattern and attempt to bind you.
Hey, here's something I haven't done before, but I've done it in other games, and again, it's only funny when I do it. Counterspell.
You're going to counter this. Okay. This is a level 10.
I'm going to have to roll for it.
You're going to have to roll for it. This is a level 10 ability. You need you need 2 successes.
I got sortilege all day.
All right. What is the level of your counterspell?
It's just the cost for the counterspell is the same as the cost for the original spell.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
And
so
I've got the sorcery. I've leveled up.
okay. So here's the thing. All right. So the way that apostates work is you can choose a level of counterspell as an advancement. So the thing I have to ask is, what level is your counterspell starting at?
My counterspell, well, if you just take it multiple times, so like it starts at 5.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So you have to roll under a 5 twice in order for this spell to go off.
And then spend the additional 5 sorcery points. Or no, spend all of them for it to actually go through, right?
No, you just roll. You roll. You roll twice. But I will allow you to spend sorcery to try to counter this as well. Okay?
I did not. I only rolled under on 1. I rolled a 9 and a 3.
Okay. So I am going to say that this is partially successful. So what is going to happen is you realize that the pages pull Maurice partially out of reality, as you realize that he is trying to trap you in fiction, with which he is very much kind of familiar. But the most important thing is, as it runs through your mind, trying to cloud your opposition to it, Maurice, it is bad fiction. It is almost like a mockery of what you would intentionally write. It is meant to not only to take you out of the combat, it is meant to basically to insult you. So the thing I will say is this: because it is partially successful, normally you would have to spend 2 rests in order to get back out of fiction. However, I'm going to give you an option. You can spend 1 of your rests in order to negate the effect, or you can miss your next action.
Zach, just clarifying real quick.
Oh, wait, so here's the thing: is you tried to counter. It's partially successful. Fuck me. That was wrong. I'm giving you what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you +5 to your roll to resist this.
To resist. Great.
Yeah.
So
Great.
how much sorcery did I spend because it was partially successful?
I will say 5.
5.
But,
5.
yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All
Sorry
right.
about that. I forgot that you also have to roll. Sorry.
That's cool. So
Also, we need to turn a card.
That's true. I will do
didn't
that.
we just? Oh no, 'cause the
I
counterspell.
counterspelled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uno reverse.
Uno reverse. God, I love this. Misremembered dream. It enhances blue. It weakens red. Mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stone. Confusion, mistakes, change in identity. Dreams are strange constructs of our subconscious, made stranger still because we don't remember them clearly. Some say that in shadow, people's dreams seem strange because they're remembering the actuality. And in the actuality, people's dreams resemble the mundanity of the gray. This is at least in part true. But of course, like anything having to do with the deepest reaches of the mind is much more complex than that. The line between memory and dream is already tenuous, but the memory of the dream or the dream of a memory, who can count on that? Okay, so what this looks like is there is a part of Basil that reaches out as if to trap you, and that fractalization of his figure transforms a little bit as though pulling back the hand saying, no, I don't, why would I want this? And then it resurges back to him attempting to attack you. However, this opening has given you a benefit to your roll.
Great. With a resist roll, what Bene pool would I boost it with?
This is going to be physicality.
Physicality.
No. This is intellect. It is intellect because
It's
it
intellect.
is you are resisting kind of like with force of will.
Okay, you're giving me +5 to the roll.
Mm-hmm.
My base is +3. I don't get anything from the card, so I'm adding +8, and my target is
10. So you need to hit 2 twice.
Ooh.
Actually, I will say you only need to hit 2 once because I will count this as 1 success as well.
I'm gonna spend a sortilege, and I'm gonna let it ride. I'm
Okay.
gonna try and make sure I rolled at least 2s.
Yeah.
That is well, I rolled a 7 and a 0. It was a non-magical die. So
Awesome. So yeah, I think what does this look like as you reach out with the apostate force of will to help your friend? And in turn, what does it look like to receive that help and resist it?
I know what I'm catching. What are you throwing?
Yeah.
I like that. I can't remember when I started this, but it's fairly recent. But I'm now obsessed with it. I think I pull another feather.
Perfect. It's a red feather.
Yes, yes. I do have those multicolored feathers for a reason. And literally, like, I feel like my magic like gets whispered into these like feathers, and they get thrown. And so I think Maurice, like, you end up catching it.
I catch the feather, and then it kind of releases very gently out of my hand and starts red underlining all of the bad fiction.
Oh yes! Yes! Mwah, mwah.
You look at Basil, who hisses with frustration as he distorts, and then there is a moment where something kind of like holds him still, like he's still partially shimmering, and then you hear a separate voice coming from his throat. You know, all of this can stop. You don't have to do this to your friend. And then suddenly, once again, he is shimmering.
Technically, that's his kid. Dickhead.
At which point, who's next? Who's up with the first action? Their first action.
I think I was ready to cast a spell at the beginning of this, so I think I'm going to do it.
Excellent.
I like the setup. I feel like I just went almost, even though it's
Yeah,
technically like a reaction.
Yeah.
Come with me on this, Zach. I'm going to weave.
Yeah. Okay.
So the effect I'm starting with is a level 9 effect called
Okay.
Teleport Anywhere in This or Any Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to apply that teleportation effect to Basil.
Okay. All right.
And I'm going to weave the aspect of imprisonment. Oh, wait, hold on. No, wait, hold on. Oh, hold. The absence is movement. I need to move.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using the distance aspect of the sea
Okay.
and the relationship aspect of heart.
Okay.
And Maurice kind of pulls at these threads and says, I made a promise. You're going home. And he's going to send Basil to the blue, back to Mara.
Amazing. Okay, so here's
And
the thing.
I have divine abilities, and I'm ready to pump this up.
Yeah, you just need to hit a 10.
I need to hit a 10. Okay. But the venture's 9, or the ability is 9.
So you literally just need to pump it 1.
Yeah, I pump it one sorcery, and I do it.
What is? I will tell you. Avelia sees what you are about to do, reaches out as if to try to grasp at him. Says, "No." What does it look like as you send him home?
Like the white foam of a crashing wave coming up from his toes up.
Oh wow. Yeah, you just watch it swallow him up in clear blue water, and then as if receding into a beach beyond this reality, he vanishes from the battlefield, from the Vancian Campus. Avelia lets loose a struggling sob, and we're going to move next in the order. Nikolai, the enemy of dissent, is going to move next. He is
Pardon?
going to.
What did you just call him?
Nikolai, the enemy of dissent. He is going to look at you and say, you don't want to do this, Gabriel. I think you would be much happier being my friend than you would to... These people, who are they to you? We went to war together. You should kill them. And he is going to attempt to compel you to shoot your friends. I need you to roll a level 8 for 2 successes.
Okay, I can do
All
that. Bene, what would it be if I were to bonk something?
If you were to bonk something, it is going to be... So this is going to be a resist roll.
Okay.
You guys
Do have
now...
something in that.
You guys do have artifacts that give you resistance to...
Should we pull a card for my bullshit?
Yeah, absolutely. We need to pull a card for your bullshit, because guess what? We're one card...
Card.
This is very cool. I swear to God, I'm not influencing these whatsoever. This is
I love this deck so much.
This is the relentless rumor. Green, weakens pale, endless half-truths, incessant drives, ruthlessness. There is never real truth in whispered rumors. Searching for authenticity amid the clandestine. Furtive words of a rumor is a fruitless task, and yet still we try. We listen. Despite the lack of complete veracity, though this rumor is relentless, it cannot die, and a living rumor is one not just told and told again, but believed and believed again. Addiction and relentless drives are a part of this. Needs and compulsions are strong motivators, and they never stop pushing. She didn't want to hear what he had to say, but she couldn't stop herself from listening. You realize as what has happened is Nikolai's talent that you knew and kind of understood almost when you last met him. The fact that he could basically get people to agree with him almost by accident. They have turned it into a weapon, and he is leveraging it against you as you hear an incessant whisper and a drive fill you to attack unless you can resist it.
Okay.
So, all right. So you need to roll resist. You need 2 successes of level 8.
Okay, I do have a +1 in resistance, so
Cool.
we'll be adding that.
And do you have any artifacts? Because I remember you guys did that last time.
My artifact that I took is not going to help me here unless he does a direct attack against me, which I don't think this qualifies as.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I have 2 resists. Yes. Okay. Plus
Cool.
2 to resist from
All
my
right.
seed.
You have 2 to start. Remember, you can spend Bene as needed. This would be intellect.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
We are fine. I rolled 2 7s on the dice. It's going to be a 10. 10? Yes. 10.
And what does it look like as you realize that it doesn't take hold, and you just hear him say, "Comrade"?
Oh, man, I don't think I can respond to this in the way that I want to until it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to very fruitlessly just sort of say, whatever you think that they're making you do, it's a lie.
I'm saving them. The second voice comes out of his throat. I'm saving them. I'm wondering why I have to fight all of you so hard on this. I would hope that you'd had the vision to see what I saw, but clearly this needs to happen in order for you to understand what's at stake.
And that second voice sounds like...
That's Marlowe.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Next in the order, who's going first? Who's going next, I should say.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, absolutely. Okris, I'm assuming it's Okris, right?
It isn't. It's twig time, baby.
Oh boy, guess what? Overlay changes. Twig is up. What does this look like? What do you do?
Twig has largely been very unimpressed by all of this bullshit, has been kind of quiet, a little bit sad up until this point, but this whole fucking like weird, I'm gonna puppet your friends thing, boring. No, bad. Get better writing. No, fuck off. Whatever the evil bad guy needs to be more talented. And I think there's this sense that they think we're gonna be tricksome and we're gonna be really clever, and nah, fuck that. I ain't got time for that shit. So Twig is just like, what the fuck is all this? And I'm one of the things that they have communing with themselves and their ancestral truths of their existence. I'm gonna so first off, because once per day, which I already did, off camera, but because I get to do it once per day, Twig's forte ability includes Paths of Creation, and I chose green spells. So the level of all the spells of the of that color that I choose increased by 2. And then I get to choose a variety of effects for green spells. Okay. And I'm doing some bullshit. Specifically, Twig is going to cast Aubergine Lance, which is technically speaking, how much am I up for the green on the current Sooth deck card?
I believe, let me see if I think it's +1. Let me double check.
So I'm up +1, 2, 3. So this is a level 11 spell. It starts at 7. I'm up a total of 4 because of Green Thumb, Sooth deck, and then Paths of... Oh, wait, here we go. Sorry. There we go. Paths of Creation. So this is going to do... So basically this is +1 dice, and I'm going to choose that I can affect 2 additional targets.
Okay.
So what happens is, because we have, besides Basil, we have Nikolai, we have
Ethereal.
Ardeno, and Ethereal Baub.
Yeah.
Well, Basil ain't here anymore.
Basil has been
ain't here
vanished.
anymore.
Yeah.
Twig's irritated. Twig's mad. Fuck this shit. So I'm gonna attack all 3 of them at once.
Okay.
3 individual targets, which is very fun.
Okay.
So a massive purple vine kind of rips out of the ground at the base of the Twig's feet and lashes out and strikes a nearby target.
Okay.
The vine inflicts damage equal to 2 less than this spell's level, which you might recall is 11. And if the target is anywhere from cat size to just a little bit larger than human size, they are entwined. I believe that's true for everybody based on your description. So I'm going to roll, and then I'll tell you what happens after I'm successful. Okay. Here's what I need to know from you, Zach, because I'm targeting 3 separate people with this spell. Am I rolling different times, or am I rolling all at once?
Here's the crazy thing, is you do not need to roll at all. Because their levels are at 10.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it all but 1 succeed. As the vines wrap around Ethereal Bob and lash with their barbs and hold down her cage, Ethereal, the enemy of freedom, seems restrained. And Nikolai, the enemy of dissent, is held in place, although in both cases it seems like you would normally do you would do more damage, but you end up doing less, as though some sort of armor is protecting them.
How much less than
3
9?
Less? Yeah.
So both everybody's taking 6 damage.
has taken 6 damage. Yes.
So-
however, you watch as the vines go through and are burned away by Ardeno, who does not
Ardeno-
seem to have a physical form.
So the other two, they will take. Normally, it would. They can attempt to break. An entwined victim cannot take actions other than to attempt to break free. And whether it succeeds or fails, they take 1 damage. Because of my magic, that is increased to 3 damage per attempt. And the vine draws strength from the green and struggles to compensate for the strength of the trapped victim. So regardless of the level or strength of the entwined victim, they can only break free if the current Sooth card bears an even number and is not enhancing green magic. Neither of which are currently true.
Well, but then you just cast this, and now we have our invisible card pool, which will be active for the rest of the fight.
But
Yeah.
guess what? I can choose.
Oh, you're
what
doing
to
the
have.
thing!
I'm gonna do the thing.
All right.
Yeah. Do you want to pull the card and let's see what happens and see if I need to do more bullshit?
I have pulled the card. It is the Mysterious Rune. Its value is 9. It is accentuating red, is weakening blue. Secrets, ravens, books, and flame, magic, mystery, wordless communication. Words are spells, and spells are words. Runes encode words. They hide them in plain sight. Store them. If you can decipher the rune, you can gain its meaning, and thus its power. Those who scribe a rune, or even those who hold the book or other object the rune marks, are its masters. The Secrets family holds the mystery of a rune along with all its hidden meanings. It is not an unknowable truth, but a secret that can be learned, though it's likely a difficult and dangerous one. Generally, this is considered a card of good fortune by vislae and bad fortune by nons. There's a mystery afoot. There's something important that can be discovered if the person in question looks for it. Specifically, looking for something in a book is a good idea after this card is turned. Something unexpected is revealed to be magical. A mystery arises. Something significant is found in a book. Yeah. Can you decipher what the book holds? So this card is active. What are you intending to do?
I'm actually not going to do anything. That's fine. I'm cool with that. They literally have to try to escape and they can't escape until some stuff happens.
Okay.
Just and this is sorry for metagaming, but if you picked your own card to be on,
It's the current card on the Sooth deck.
Oh, sorry. What do you get to do?
So they can only break free if the current Sooth card.
Oh, I thought you had an ability to.
Oh, I do.
Change the Sooth card. What exactly can you do?
That's Okris gets to pick and choose. Twig only gets to force a second card draw and choose.
Got
the
it.
two.
Never mind then.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that
Something benefiting red at 9 works really well for me.
And apostates can choose to ignore the testament. The testament card, I should say. Since the other 2 of them are restrained, and that they cannot unrestrain themselves, Ardeno is going to move.
Well, they can try.
Ardeno, you realize, did not seem to be affected by the vines. They seemed to burn away when they made touch with his fiery kind of form. At which point, Ardeno, wreathed in flame, is going to reach forward and attempt to set you alight. I think in this case, it is almost kind of personal. I think... No, of course it's personal. What am I saying? Sorry, I'm using filler words. I am going to have... Ardeno is going to make an attempt to attack Kiri. Ardeno is level 8 to his attacks. If you could make your defense roll twice, as you need 2 successes. That said, while you do that, basically he is wreathing you in flame as if to try to burn all of the written material on your form that you are carrying. Not only that, but prior to doing that, Ethereal Bob is going to look at you, Twig, and with Marlowe's voice say, just imagine if I could find her, who else I have access to, and how hopeless this struggle really is.
Are you trying to threaten me? Have you met me?
At which point, make your roll, Kiri.
To clarify, is that this is not a spell. This is like a physical effect, right?
This
He's
is-
like a.
This is an
Is
attack.
Ardeno casting a spell?
He
or
is
not?
He is throwing a gout of flame at you from his incorporeal form. So he is going to do that. You are going to need to make a dodge roll, and we'll see how that goes.
Cool. I will definitely pump Bene into this. All right, and I need to succeed twice.
Yes.
Okay.
The total of the challenge is 8. So any benefits or any benefits you have to add to a dodge roll.
Yes, which I do have. Okay. So that's movement, I would take it, yes?
Yes, movement.
Okay. All right. So I have 2 movement, Bene. I will spend both.
Mm-hmm.
1 on each. Oof. All right. 1 success, 1 failure.
Okay.
So 1 is a 9, the other is a 4.
Okay. I will say it is very lucky you didn't lose. You didn't have more than 1 failure, because first off, he is going to do 8 damage to you.
Okay.
Remember, you can spend 1 physicality to negate 3.
I will do that.
However, you are also choose one of your ephemera as it burns away.
Okay.
If you had not managed to succeed at least once, one of your grimoires would have been damaged.
Wow. Well, thank you, Di.
Okay. Yes. So,
Okay.
that bookkeeping looking good.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, Mott is going to look back to you, and say, "What do you want me to do?"
When you say you, are you talking to Gav?
He's
Or-
talking to Gav.
I think you should say incapacitate them if you have to.
All right.
They're not themselves.
And you are going to see Mott step forward as a shadow kind of pall falls over the mask, and it begins elongating with a lopsided, terrifying kind of grimace, and the rest of his form becomes wreathed in nightmare, and he is going to reach forward and attempt to slam Nikolai into the ground. His level, once again, is 7. I am going to turn another card to see how he does. The Forbidden Game. At which point, danger, intellect, strategy, and balance. The temptation to partake in the game is strong, but you know you shouldn't. It's dangerous, it's forbidden, it's far more than it seems. It may appear to be a simple diversion at pastime, but it's so much deeper and much more engrossing and so much more addicting. The game isn't like life, it's better, it's more realistic. Allegra watches as and this is 2, so this is a 9. So in this case, however, he is going to succeed, but it's going to do a less damage than you would think it does, as something seems to glance off of magical armor that is in place, and you just hear Mott call back, "This one's strong!" At which point, you see Allegra looking at and studying Ardeno. At which point, with completely, like, any lack of emotion, any lack of passion, is going to turn back to all of you and say, "It's a demon. Whatever it is, it's It's insubstantial. They can transfer from one form to another. Be careful. No physical damage will actually hurt it, as you realize that she has taken her turn to analyze the subject in front of her. However, as she does that, I am going to give a point of despair as something grabs her around the back of her neck, and you see Oda Clasp, the queen of the cage, manifest behind her.
Let's fucking go.
And attempt to imprison her. Once again, I'm going to set her, basically this woman who before you had seen wearing this massive bustle, as though a dress kind of like in an old style, far too voluminous to be flattering, but now she is without it. And the thing that you see is a woman that is half human torso from the waist up. However, in parts of her torso are miniature cages. And where the rest of her legs and her pelvis would be, instead, you see a almost like dressing mannequin shaped massive complex of cages that are holding miniaturized people crying out for assistance and help. She is going to reach forward. In this case, Allegra's rating is 7, and her forbidden game is up, and so she's going to get +3 to this. I am going to turn a card to see if she succeeds. All right. The cat, the companion of notions, cats, clocks, and wind. Solitude, curiosity, cleverness, and dexterity. Humans make excellent domesticated companions for cats. You see Allegra duck almost as these grasping fingers attempt to pull Allegra into a cage in her body. At which point, Oda turns to all of you and says, I was wondering when we'd have the opportunity to meet. I did not appreciate those unkind words that you had printed about me. As Oda looks at you, dead-eyed, Kiri. We're back at the top of the round. Basil is out. Who's next?
Hi.
Okay.
I was debating between two things, but I think I'm actually going to do a forte ability instead of a spell. Okay. And I'm going to spread the choir out to everyone that is affected by Marlowe. Literally, I can send forth my legion to possess other creatures within close distance of me, which we all are at this point. Those affected work with us as if we were one entity, even to their own detriment. They are essentially mind-controlled. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to do is basically boot Marlowe out of their heads, and if I have to kind of like take the reins for just a hot second for them to recalibrate, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because it'd be great to have them back on the team to deal with this bitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. So first off, what's the level of the ability?
It is level 8.
Okay. So here's the thing. This is a level 13 ability.
Fuck me.
You require 3 successes. However, couple things. Remember, you have the benefits of the Seeds of Truth, where all of you have pulled successes, and also you can give me a flashback to your training in the blue. So otherwise,
I actually took this before we were in the blue.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, here's the thing, but I will say the idea of this flashback mechanic I gave you is what have you learned in the dream time that allows you to turn this into a successful action. Yeah, just kind of give that a thought and tell me what this looks like, and then we'll do the math and you tell me how you roll.
Okay. Should I do the flashback first?
Like in this moment, she turns to you and reaches out as all of these caged miniature individuals reach out for you. Kiri, as she does this, you recognize several people. You recognize withered almost to the point of death. You see Gilles de Pompadour, his figure just emaciated and dying. You see, in a similar state of emaciation, Alinea. Beyond that, you see Jauro, and you see the reporter of the Saturnine Sight and Sound who wrote the wrote the article with your expose. All of them are reaching out desperately for help. As they reach, tell me what goes and rushes through your mind, Gabrielle.
As who meets?
As they kind of reach out, and as your gaze meets what's kind of transpiring in this moment, what rushes through your mind? What training, what flashback do we see?
Okay. I'm thinking about how, especially because when we were in the blue, this ability is connecting up to spirits and minds, which is not necessarily something that I would argue is Gab's main forte, but being in this liminal spiritual space where it's all focused on the connected dream that every vislae shares. There's this natural understanding of how this magic works here, how this ability, this forte, how she connects up with all of the angels that have been harbored within her all this time, how there is that communal subconscious dream space, and she's been in it, and she's been living it for an untold amount of time out of time. And now something that used to be kind of unwieldy, even though like the angels were gifting her this power, it's not a natural instinct for a soldier to really have. I mean, her instinct is action, 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 physical, not spiritual woo-woo-ness, but like this has grounded it into more of that physicality because she has seen the realm in which dreams are physical emblems and can be in fact weapons. And in this case, she's using it more like a lockpick than, I would say, some sort of blunt, heavy-duty hammer or the back end of her rifle. Like, this is very much like she's learned how to fine-tune it.
Amazing. I'm just getting all kinds of Lawrence Fishburne. She is beginning to believe.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Describe this for me. You've already described it for me. Now it's time to roll.
Yeah. So we said 3?
Yeah. So you are getting all right.
Would we be good if I used one of our motes to get a success on this? Because it gets us a shit ton of allies.
And the motes, did I technically spend one when I did my thing with Allegra? It was a once every 8 days ability. That's not it?
No, that's not it. That's just your seed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
then
different
we
thing.
have 4 motes.
We have 4 collective.
4 collective motes. I'm down.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. I'll use it for this then. So that's 1 success. I'm just gonna roll 2 dice in that case.
Okay. So just important. What are you starting with? Because are you starting with 3, or what are you starting with?
In terms of what my number is, or dice?
Yeah. Okay. So never mind, because it's a level 8 ability. You're good.
Yeah.
I can do math. Yeah. All right. You're gonna roll 2. I will tell you this. There are 3 combatants. This requires 3 successes.
We got 1 success for using 1 mote.
Yeah, but here's the thing: I will say that if you don't get all of your successes, you won't get all of them, but you will get 1 person for each success.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
So we got 1 for sure in the
Alright.
bag.
Okay.
Okay. So I think, what's the number? 13.
Yep.
We got it. We got 1, and then Godspeed for me and my brain. We just missed a second. The last one. I got a 12.
Okay. Oh, all right. So, all right. In that case,
So we got 2 successes
you got 2 successes. Perfect.
Of the 3, right?
of the 3.
All right. Okay.
So I now have 2 that I am controlling.
Okay. In which case, who are those 2?
one of them's got to be Nikolai. I gotta get. I'm saying that as like a player because Gav would prioritize that. But for the other, I would love a card that tells me which one we think we got.
Okay.
Because Gav is less familiar with their brains the same way she is with her longtime comrade.
All right. The Devil, the Nemesis, Secrets, Ravens, Books, and Flame, Temptation, Lies, Charm, Persuasion, and Words. The Nemesis of Secrets is the Prince of Lies, the Devil. Of course, there are many devils. He sits there staring, and while you might wonder, you do not want to know what he's thinking. So here's my thought, as this is the Devil. And
Dex never let me down.
Who is the Nemesis here? Whose Nemesis is this, I should say?
Secrets family. Who's Secrets?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh boy.
so yours.
I will.
Can I nope that?
You want to nope that?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll spend the points to nope that.
Okay, you want me to draw another card? Because that means that
All right.
Normally this means Ethereal Bob would not be in play. However, I'm going to turn this card. Is that you really want that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Let's go
And
for
does
it.
this like replace the card or just keeps it going on?
It
I think
draws 2 cards, and then I get to choose, and then I
Oh,
get
sick.
to choose a narrative option from the card I choose.
Sick.
Okay. In which case, the 2 cards that I have are the Imprisoning Ice, which means entrapment, imprisonment, danger, and conflict.
What's the number on that card?
That is 4. And then the next one is the Revolutionary, the sovereign of Secrets, Ravens, Books, and Flame. I believe it's your sovereign.
That's my sovereign.
Its number is 9.
And that strengthens what and weakens what?
It's a sovereign.
It's a sovereign. It
Good.
strengthens
you get a
everything.
+2.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna. And what are the narrative options on that card?
The narrative options on the sovereign, I will tell you, are
So visually, what you're seeing here is there's almost like a fracturing in what happens as this as Gabrielle's magic is like kind of tapping into the current, and these angels are rising up, and I think you see energy. Like you see kind of like crackling green energy kind of explode out of Twig, and for everybody else it's unclear, but this fragments into the current forks temporarily.
Okay. Excellent. And what the narrative in this is, I'm going to leave out like the sexy stuff for the sovereign because it's not relevant, but someone changes radically or is destroyed, could be a person or object, but just as likely an institution, a law, or something similar. So there's a lot of different ways that I can like roll with this. What would you like this to mean?
Just who gets got.
Who gets got?
Yeah.
It's ethereal, isn't it? Right? She gets freed. Yeah.
I think that is probably the answer. Give me 1 second.
And they're not technically going to be free just yet. They are now under my control, unless I roll, I believe, a 0 through 1 each round. So they're good for the entire round. They're working for us, but they still have to kind of do what I say now.
Amazing.
Until I can release them. And because I'm assuming by the time I get out of their heads, it'll be long enough that Marlo will have lost their connection and they'll be themselves again. But I'm going to hold on to them for a minute.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think this is we'll break the laws, the rules, the bindings imposed by this authoritarian little bastard upon the people to force them to his will. Feels very revolutionary.
So ethereal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got Nikolai and ethereal. Ardeno, unfortunately, did not get saved this round.
Yeah. So what does it look like as these angelic spirits erupt out of you and take control?
You see the halo start just like rapidly spinning faster and faster and faster. And then something that almost looks like it's going way too fast for like light to catch, the eye to see, but it's like a weird jarring effect, almost like we saw when we popped into the library. Something flickers in Nikolai and Ethereal's eyes that I think dramatically changes. They sort of drop like puppets cut off from strings before suddenly they're back up and moving. And they are essentially now connected to my brain. I'm now have created a bit of a hive mind. And via the connection with my angels, we are able to communicate together telepathically. And I'm able to direct them where they want to go. Now, technically, I can make them do stuff to their own detriment, but I'm assuming in this situation, I'm going to be sending them an internal message of, I'm trying to get Marlowe out of your heads. You will need to kind of move how I move you, but I will let you go as soon as he can no longer have any further influence on you.
You try to send this message. I will say a couple of things happen as well, which is basically in addition to this, and of course I for some reason turned off my Roll20. But so a couple things happen, which is emerging with these angelic spirits as they kind of I think it would make thematic sense for the angel that takes over Nikolai to be ethereal. Unless you want to veto that.
No, my best girl can be on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ethereal manifests and takes over the movements, and immediately you see, I think, them kind of rise. The form, you just see there is a halo that spins over the head of this possessed Nikolai. You see something similar happen as another spirit enters into Ethereal. However, a third spirit emerges and is unable to find purchase, but gives you a moment to afford a look. Jakob has emerged from your chest, and from virtue of having spent so much time surrounded by 66 angels inside of you, what angelic divinity has kind of manifested in Jakob now that he is made apparent and manifest in front of you?
I think all of his arabast feathers have become white.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's lost all of that multicoloration. It's now become like a very brilliant, blinding white, an impossible white almost.
Excellent.
I also think that it has some weird peacock coloration on it, like a white peacock, because I like the many eyes concept. I like my angels to be biblically accurate, and this is a biblically accurate bird.
And amazing. I will say that as he manifests, you see that he was reaching out to try to take over Ardeno. And even as a spiritual entity, it seems like whatever has purchase over Ardeno pushes back. And as there's a coldness that he kind of retreats his arabast kind of claw back from, and almost in response, you hear Athariel say, "There are no souls in this form. There is something missing, but there is something leveraging. We are just merely breaking the tether."
That's the most horrifying thing you could have possibly said. Where are they?
To that point, basically, Kiri, you hear that being said out of Nikolai's mouth, and you hear your inner voice cry out in anger and anguish, as the voice of truth, you realize, was not your truth necessarily. It was the spirit of Arwen. As her soul reaches out for the absence of his. That is your turn.
We have two allies now back on the deck, even if I have to now puppet them myself until we can figure out where the fuck their souls are.
And I think at this point, Ardeno looks at all of you and says, I told you. You are only bringing this pain upon yourself, but they are prepared for what will inevitably transpire. It's a necessity, a necessary evil. And that voice dissipates, replaced by, once again, Ardeno's, the juxtaposed, terrifying jolliness of it. And as he turns to all of you and says, well, seems I must make my leave, but I'd love to leave an impression. As he begins a retreat from battle and begins moving towards the administrative building. Ota looks at all of you and says, you cannot stop what is coming. The dark shall return.
Can I shoot her in the middle of her saying that?
You may absolutely. I will say that, yeah, that was... Ardeno's action was to flee and to move quickly. Ota is going to start monologuing. You may get off your...
Does she still have Allegra, like, from behind? Like,
no, Allegra managed to dodge out of the way.
Oh, okay, good.
Hey, Zach, I really love your cool, scary villains and their dark monologues, and also Twig doesn't have time for these fucking people.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Twig's just Fortinbras to the face.
All
like, this is... Sorry.
So here's the thing.
My horrible little goblin child is just like, nah, shut up. Shoots.
You are going to need to hit a 10 3 times.
That's really achievable.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Tell me how you do this, and make your shot.
So I'm starting at a +5 with 3 dice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna add an accuracy penalty, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
While you're doing math, mechanically, what happened when the Path of Suns got interrupted? The devil card was pulled, but then Twig said no, so that just goes away. And then of the 2 that were pulled next, only one of them went down?
Correct.
Pretty much correct. So the one that went down is the Sovereign.
The Revolutionary, great.
The Revolutionary. The Revolutionary is active for you, so you get +2 to this as well.
Yeah. So I need to hit 2s.
Okay.
And I already have 3 dice natively.
Mm-hmm. You gotta hit 3 2s. We'll see.
That feels statistically likely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's statistically likely. That was way better than that. That was a 7, an 8, and a 4.
Okay. How much damage do you do, and are you using any special bullets?
Nah, it's just 13 damage.
Okay.
It's Fortinbras is a big gun, and Okris and Twig have a lot of juice. Yeah, it's just like she's literally talking, and Twig's just like shoots her.
Okay. As you do this, she reels, looks on the verge of death, pats one of the cages. I'm going to turn a card to see who it is, if it's somebody important. And we're just going to see how that looks. Ooh. The assassin, the adept of mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stone. Finesse, stealth, betrayal, finality. Subtlety is the assassin's greatest tool. Anyone can kill, but he does it so deftly and so quickly that even the victim doesn't realize they're dead until the assassin is long gone. He often poses as someone harmless or even friendly, because betrayal is subtlety's closest sibling. Dealing death is a magical art all its own. Because this is a card that is about betrayal, she pats Giles's cage.
One point of order.
Okay.
I don't think Kiri went last round. Did her dodge action take the place of her getting an action? Because she was going to do something about the cages, but didn't get a chance to.
That is a really good point. Friendly game. I'm going to give you this moment to intercede.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Kiri has Stizen's Knock, which is all targets within sight that are affected by this are opened. Doors are flung wide, locks are broken, shackles are bent open, belts come undone. If cast on an armored target, the armor will fly off. If cast on an unarmored creature, they will be knocked prone and probably vomit, losing their next action.
God,
Color
I
red.
love Vancian spells. Anyway, yeah.
Did you choose the targets? Or is this just everything?
Well, it's a target within sight. Now,
Okay.
I think what I can do here is use a spell, an effect by spell level, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, to use an aggregate to enhance that. And instead of just one target that opens, I can expand it.
I think that's off book. But
Okay.
what I will say is because Kiri and Maree shared memories and he suddenly has Vance spells,
Yeah.
the Vance spell he has in his mind right now prepared is Sizen Knock, and it will fly out.
I love that.
To join
Okay. Amazing. Okay, so is in effect you are trying to target multiple targets? What are you trying to do? Together or to get all of them?
I think the idea is to open all of them.
Okay.
Can you normally spend more sorcery to boost a Vance spell?
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Not only
which I
that.
can do.
Then absolutely
I
you
do
can.
have a sorcery I can spend to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just think I was wondering if there's like a way to, I don't know what the kind of container on that is, because like I couldn't say, oh yeah, I'm gonna open 12 cages necessarily. You know, there's like a
Right. I would say like to do a weave on top that would be casting 2 spells at once.
I love this though. I think that's great. I think if you want to spend the sorcery, Maurice, to assist in
But that's
any
how Vance
fashion-
spells work. I don't spend the sorcery; it just flies out of my mind.
Exactly. All right.
It just
cool.
comes.
All right. So you are casting Stizen's Knock. That is what level?
That is, I believe, a level 6 spell. 5
Okay.
actually, plus 1 die.
Okay, 5, but you get 6 because Vancian efficiency power. And then I'm going to say, I'm just going to add that I like this a lot, and you guys are spending the resource. I am going to let you add this to the total. So basically, you now start with 11. I will say that in order to unlock all these cages, it's going to be a 13 3 times.
Okay.
You can either spend the sorcery to get to the top of that and not roll, or you can take your chance rolling and adding Swordledge. What do you want to do?
Oof. I mean, I think this is a joint decision, Maurice. This is a combined effort. What do you got?
I mean, I think personally the way I feel about this is like Maurice isn't even doing anything. This is sympathetically
happens.
being casting. So like that, I feel like that's my contribution in this moment.
Yeah.
Is that I've added whatever +5 or multiple targets or whatever this is.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome. Amazing.
In that case, it's on Kiri. She's got 8 sorcery. So how many? I have to hit what 3 times?
You have to hit 13 3 times.
13 3 times. Okay. And it's a 6.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I can, in theory, get a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have 8 sorcery and I spend all of my sorcery, which normally I don't have to use for things, so I can. What does that do? Does that negate it, or does that only take care of 2 of the 3 rolls?
I will say if you spend up to 13, if you spend 2 additional sorcery, you do not need to roll, and the only thing is you only add 1 die, right? If
Yes, plus
I will
1
say
die.
that. So do this. Do me a favor. Spend 2 sorcery and spend a Swordledge, and we'll say it succeeds.
All right. I can do
Okay.
that. I got those things.
As she reaches out, as you mark your sheet, as she reaches out to grasp at Giles, which you realize is to drain him of his life force and to revitalize herself, the cage flies open. As what does it look like when you cast a Vancian spell to supplement her own for the first time, Maurice?
It like there's something. Well, I need to know what it looks like when Stizen's Knock comes from Kiri, first of all.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing is you have a sight into the current. You see the spell. What does this look like?
So I think the way that you're used to normally seeing Kiri cast this, right? It's much more like she concentrates. There's like an energy of willfulness or forcefulness to like the casting. Like she is communicating with a force that is very abrasive and very, well, for lack of a better word, forceful. It's dominant. It's, unabashed. It's not willing to brook any sort of opposition. And that is, in fact, kind of the personality, the spirit of Stizen's Knock, because that is what that spell is compiled out of, the current of magic. Like, think about a computer code, right? Like, it's compiled like a code. It is literally taking all of the little bits from within the current of magic and creating this personality of this spell to go out into the world and achieve this effect. And so I think you now, Maurice, having this better sense, or like you seeing into the current more clearly with your knowledge of Vancian spell work, you can see Kiri, and with also your background as a weaver, you can see Kiri pulling almost like lines of the code
And
of
as
the
that
magic.
pull happens, like as if there were a hook in Maurice's sternum, he feels pulled forward and kind of like I don't have a better analogy, like this Dementor-esque spiritual, like it just shoots out of Maurice. He had no choice in the matter.
I love it. Yeah, this is also something that you can now clearly see, having cast this, is it's not just Vances that can tug on the current and pull magic forward. The magic can pull and tug back. It's just never been observed. And so you pull this and Stizen pulls that same copy of itself out of Maurice in order to gather strength. And you watch it with many almost tendrils of force and energy through another spectrum pull out all of the cage doors as people begin, like these miniature people begin falling out and begin gaining their like normal size back. Alinea seems to breathe and like kind of claw at her throat for a moment before finally getting non-musty kind of air. You see Gilles just collapse in exhaustion. And you see the reporter for the Sight and Sound and Jaro all kind of crawl out of her, and she lets loose a scream as she leaves. She loses her action. So in this moment, I think at this point, Yadavastra once again kind of wheels forward and says, "I don't know if this will work. I might need some help," and attempts to once again bind Ota in the same way that she bound the mnemonic, the Pneumivore. Who is next?
I think technically I just went.
Yeah.
I have stuff I can do.
I feel like because, well, yeah, but like Kiri didn't go last round.
Yeah, you
And I
want
feel
to,
like
that
this
was
is very,
kind of the
that was last round, and I feel like roll it into round 2.
yeah.
Sure,
You want
I'm
to
fine with that.
yeah.
Go,
That's
go,
take another
Kiri,
one?
go.
do it?
okay. Let's do this. I want to cast. I'm interested.
Oh,
in
I
what
think
this-
we are 2 card pulls behind because the assassin was the adept.
Mm-hmm. I just pulled another one, which was the Ghostly Presence, which augments pale and weakens green. The past, guilt, unresolved issues. We all have our ghosts. They haunt us both metaphorically and, of course, literally. This was Arwen's card when it was pulled. The second card I am going to pull. Okay. I think this is in line with your action. The Golden Ship. Gold is accentuated. Silver is weakened. Wealth earned, honor, prestige, and respect. There are many ships, but only one golden ship. This legendary vessel supposedly carries only the greatest heroes, the most influential celebrities, the highest nobles, and the most powerful vislae to ports of call most people cannot even imagine. Even seeing the ship is a great honor. It represents wealth and prestige. A highly positive card, the golden ship suggests that one will earn wealth, fame, or respect, or all 3. It presages a successful endeavor, but usually only if that endeavor is grand in scope. So someone earns a fortune of great honor or considerable respect for something that they do. An NPC acts to uphold their honor or out of a desire for wealth or prestige. A sea voyage of great length or scope appears. What do you do? As you realize that you have circumvented with this clever play and by leveraging Maurice's power, you have circumvented her abilities. What do you do in this case?
I think I'm gonna double down. So I've got a spell called Zenotopia, level 7 +1 die. I place a vision in a close being's mind so they experience something disturbing that no one else can sense. This vision seems to be something that is actually in the world. A glaring eye in the bookcase, the sound of their sibling crying for help, the smell of burning flesh, although it doesn't have to make logical sense. They suffer 1 point of mental damage each round they are near this disturbing thing, conceptual idea. Further, they are compelled to point this thing out and, if challenged, prove that it exists. They take no other action.
Okay.
The thing that I would like to play on, and we'll see how to weave this in. I think Curie wants to play on Oda's paranoia as a political figure and her relationship with Marlowe. I think she wants to problematize and destabilize that and plant almost Inception-like this seed, this vision in Oda's brain that Marlowe is a threat and needs to be is a political enemy.
Okay. All right. I love this. I'm gonna say that I will say this, with this action being taken by Yadavastra, you are going to have an asset to this. You may add either 3 to this roll, or you may give yourself 1 success. What do you want to do?
I will take a 1 success. And if successful, this is also a depletion. So like there is a world where this only paralyzes her for so long. There's like a world in which if I lose control or like the focus, then it could potentially deplete.
Now, I will say the one thing about this is the cages were the hardest thing for you to do. Yeah. The number that you need for this is a 10, but you still need 3 successes.
Yes.
You already have 1, so you just need 2.
Okay. Well, that's definitely going to be a bene.
Okay. What are we starting with?
Well, we're down to... Thank God I cast with intellect. So we're at 12, so I can pump 2 into it.
Okay.
Take us to 10.
Okay.
All right. And that's a 7 plus 1 die.
I will say, okay, so if you are starting at 10, you are successful.
Okay.
You do not have to roll. What is this, like, as you kind of instill this fear, what does it look like?
So glad you asked, Zach. One of the core precepts of the Library of Esoteric and Rhizomatic Studies is that a book is not an image of the world. It forms a rhizome within the world or with the world. There is a parallel evolution of like the idea, the book, and the world. The actual quote from Deleuze and Guattari is, the book assures the deterritorialization of the world, but the world effects a re-territorialization of the book, which in turn deterritorializes itself in the world, if it is capable, if it can. And what this means, in plain language, is that a book and the world don't just reflect each other, they change each other in a kind of messy back and forth sort of way. Like a rhizome, what this library is dedicated to kind of studying and collecting information about is something that grows in all directions with like no clear center or hierarchy. They're entangled, not in like a neat top-down relationship, which is everything that Oda has been taught to believe as a Vance the world should be, ordered and hierarchical. So there's this constant tug of war. The world is pushing back. It's trying to like domesticate the idea, right? But that it's actually good ideas slip free and they loosen up how we think about things and opens up territory that's previously closed. That's a living and evolving relationship. And I think actually Curie's relationship with Twig over the course of the past however long we have been in this narrative has opened more of this to Kiri, this idea that the world begins and ends in a sort of not necessarily ordered fashion, that this rhizome, this thing that has always been in the name of the library she studies at, or has been a librarian at, actually is this core theoretical precept of how ideas and the world and magic interact together. And so it's with that understanding that I think the way that she flips this idea in Oda's mind is to play upon Oda's own weakness, which is her idea of an ordered hierarchical world where if she is at the top and she wins, she is always vulnerable. And so that's why the seed can then be planted and grow organically in her brain that Marlowe is the horizon upon which she must then see this threat.
Okay.
So
excellent. I think in this moment, you see her resisting against Yadavastra's spell, and you see all of the fight go out of her, as though just there is a crushing realization at work in her mind. I will say she does not seem to be putting up any resistance. You see the angelified Nikolai and the angelified ethereal Bob look to everybody and say, what about him? And you see Ardeno is making for the administration building. He is at the entrance. I will say that by this point, he is about a very far distance away. We're going to take out of action mode very briefly, as I get what you guys want to do. How do you want to proceed in this moment?
I can fire off a spell at long range.
Mm-hmm.
But Maurice, I think you should maybe go first since you have.
Sure, I will complete the round.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are one card pull from the Xenotopia missing.
You got it. All right.
I'm just so excited we're pulling all these cards.
This one replaces the Testament. Elusive sleep. It augments blue. It weakens red. Vision, swans, blades, and water. Meanings: futility, worry, stress, and awareness. The richest noble cannot buy sleep. The strongest among us cannot compel its submission. Even the wisest person might lose a night's rest to anxiety. Still, when we're awake, we are aware, and that awareness can be crucial. Divination. Elusive sleep indicates one is racked with worry, or should be. It might indicate that the stress that one feels is a real detriment, and that whatever is being attempted is utterly futile. Last, this card turn might suggest that the key to success lies in vigilance. Someone is racked with worry. An NPC notices something important. An NPC's actions are futile. No one can sleep. Sleep can be difficult, even for prey for even the most skilled hunter when it wishes to be.
You've got this in the invisible slot?
Yes, it is now in the Testament slot. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Just keeping my bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna set this up for the alley-oop.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a departure from reality. You said he was a very long range?
Yeah, I would say very far away. You realize that as he is composed of fire and insubstantial, he is essentially flying.
Yeah. So I've got a level 7 Forte ability that affects being within long range. How could I bump it up to very long range?
I will
Just
say
spend
that
points.
Yeah, I was gonna say I will say that you've just watched Kiri pull upon your Vancian ability, pull a spell out of your head, and is giving you ideas about how you can augment with weave your own power and weave it with kind of magic that you have known by rote, if you would
Sick.
like to kind of do something like that.
I mean, I have an infinity aggregate, if that is of any help to you.
I don't. Maybe we'll get to that point where I'm tapping into that. I think at this point I'm just going to let's see. So you're saying I can weave on top of this? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, guys, we're this is end game. I'm breaking all the rules. So yeah,
Great.
if you want to weave some power into this.
I will do my practiced weave,
Okay.
which is swiftness and courage. My movement is increased by 1 step as long as I'm running towards danger, because I'm mixing speed and courage. And it's a reduced weave for me. It's a practice weave, so I spend 1 to do that,
Amazing.
to close the distance so that he is now only a long distance away.
Okay.
And I'm going to I'm gonna do my forte ability, departure from reality. I affect one being within long range. Their perceptions are now under my control. Everything they see, hear, taste, touch, and smell is what I want it to be.
Okay. All right. That you said is a level 7 ability, right?
Level 7.
Okay.
So
You
I'm
are
gonna
going to
spend
need
that.
Yeah. You are going to need 2 successes to affect him, which I believe your spell does give you another die.
Yep.
And you are going to need to hit a 10 twice. So
Okay.
total.
Then I will just I can use my pertinence with a beast to give me a +1 to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then no other bonuses elsewhere. I'll spend the extra 3
Okay.
sorcery to just auto succeed.
Okay. All right. What does Ardeno see?
That feeling of a dream where you're running as fast as you can and you're not making progress. The rack zoom, the administration building, just is perpetually without of reach. And I think he has, in our perception, has stopped moving, but in his mind he is moving as fast as he can and moving nowhere.
I almost kind of also want to say, like, reality kind of refracts around him, Doctor Strange style a little bit. Yeah, just like you just managed to kind of contain his perception within kind of a pocket. And I think he is standing kind of like he is running, or he is kind of trying to fly as fast as possible. The thing that you notice is that he seems to be burning hotter, like as in almost like building energy. You realize, I think, there is a horror that is inside of you, both as a friend, Kiri, but more so because of Arwen, as you realize that he is priming himself for detonation. Who's got we're gonna keep this in action mode because you have managed to circumvent his travel. Who's got the next move?
That's either me or Gav.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically we're at the beginning of the round, so it could be
Yes.
anybody.
Then it is me.
So here's the thing, just like top level about the soul situation. My guess is that because I'm holding Ardeno's soul in the form of a wicked key, like there's a slotting back into Ardeno that kind of needs to happen, but I don't think that can happen while there's a demon there. So there either has to be some sort of colloquy or like convincing or forcing that demon to leave Ardeno so that his real soul can be restored to him. Or, well, I mean, I think there's also the alternative of Ardeno's body dies with the demon, but those, I think like we can't just throw the wicked key at Ardeno, you know? Like I think there has to be a kind of decoupling of him and the demon for anything to work in that capacity.
Wicked keys are kind of bonkers, but that's a Zach call.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I will tell you this. Okay, Kiri, based on that, I want you to give me an intellect roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna give, because of your prognostication there, I'm gonna give you 6 to this to start. And you may spend intellect as you would like.
I can, yes. I will absolutely spend, although this is the fastest I've ever spent intellect in my life, everybody. All right. Oh, damn, that's great. That's a 9 on the die. So +1, 10, plus what you gave me is 6?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
16.
Yeah. Perfect. On a 16, the truth becomes unveiled to you. And I'm going to ask you this to see if you notice this, but otherwise I'm just going to give it to you. What do all of these people that you faced off against have in common?
Nikolai. Ardeno. They all have connections to the war, I think.
Specifically, as you kind of like remember thinking and looking at them, what about their form do you recognize?
They're all like gaunt and haggard, like something's been taken from them?
Like something's been changed.
Yes.
As though all of them you recognize as though all of them had been to a changery.
Oh. That's right, because Ardeno looks like a...
Yeah. So, I will say this. With that 16, you could attempt to unravel the change and spend the sorcery to do it. Or you could spend one wicked key and then another in dual succession to give Ardeno back his soul. At least a part of it.
All right. Marcy, you say you have an undo changery spell.
What?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, you are top around.
Maybe I do, but it depends on if you want to. I don't know how many wicked keys you have.
Well, no, so I have I think I might have more. I have to look at the actual number, but like the wicked key that matters is the one that is Ardeno's soul. There's like the snowflake key. It is
Sure,
a
but
specific
I mostly meant like I'll give it to
Mechanically.
you to handle Ardeno if you would like to, using multiple wicked keys if you have them. But I can potentially. No, I can't not potentially. Like, this is probably going to pop off with the amount of stuff that I have. It's a new spell that I would have learned in the blue. It is called Snuff the Divine.
Oof.
Okay.
It's a level 10 spell, plus 2 dice. I get to call on one of the hidden names of the legacy itself. I cancel any ongoing magical effect from any source, even one normally permanent, such as the effect of a changery or the power of a secret, of any level. The level of the effect serves as the challenge, and 2 successes are required unless the effect is above level 10, in which case 3 successes are required. The spell will banish a being brought by a summoning. It will also erase a thought form, or it will also cause a magical construct to stop working.
Okay.
So this is available to you if you wish to use it. If not, use the wicked keys. I have enough in the tank to use this multiple times.
Yeah.
So it's not a one and done thing. I brought it along for some other things as well, but I do have enough sorcery in the tank to pop it off a couple of, like, 3 times if needed.
Okay.
I mean, I like the sound of this. I think
It also it will work on everyone if I do this. It will work on Nikolai and Ethereal, Bob, and Ardeno.
Okay. So let me ask you, it says it can affect how many people in a range?
It doesn't have the range on here, but the range no longer matters if I use my gun. If we want it specifically to be one person, I can use the gun. If not, it does not say. I wrote it down exactly as it was written. It doesn't have a range to it.
I just read that as well. It is pretty broad.
Okay.
Yeah. So DM's choice, maybe?
I've got a teacher you forgot to give us homework moment.
Okay, go ahead.
The control that Gav has over our friends, it's roll a die every round, right?
Yeah.
It is. You are right?
Also,
Yep.
strictly
So
I can do it
it's-
right now.
none of them can move because that spell hasn't dropped.
With the exception of Ardeno, but yes.
Well, except for
Yes.
Ardeno, yes.
They can move as long as I tell them to move. The depletion is, we're good. The depletion's fine. I rolled above a 0 and a 1. I rolled a 3 and a 2.
okay.
But it's still up, and that's not a spell. It is my forte ability, so I can do both of these things.
But
Okay.
specifically, my spell doesn't have a depletion, so they're stuck until they get out or I drop the spell.
Yeah, so this
So
is
you
just
control them, but just so you know, like, I can drop the
Oh,
spell.
you have them frozen
Mm.
in place. Okay.
Well,
yeah, this
restrained by thorny vines.
yeah, this is moving it down to specific. You know, basically specific beats general.
Yes.
I also just checked depletion for Oda, and we're fine.
So they're still controlled by my angels.
Mhm.
I can absolutely pop this off if we'd like to do it, but I think I would need you to mediate, Zach, on the range you think this ought to affect, because it's not listed.
I'm gonna do what the game requires, and I'm gonna turn another card.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
When in
All right.
doubt.
All right. Okay. The misunderstood beast. It accentuates green. It weakens pale. Mistakes, gentleness, friendship, danger, and betrayal. The misunderstood beast is a gentle giant, not a murderous monster. It seeks our friendship, not our flesh. Can we see past its physical nature and ascertain its truth? Will we even try? Snap judgments can result in horrific mistakes. We judge something by its appearance or simply by the initial reaction it churns in our heart. But the real truth of a thing can rarely be ascertained so quickly. This misstep can catch us from either direction. We might judge something ugly as evil when it is not, or we might assume someone pleasant as a friend when they are not. Either way, we are harmed or at least lessened as a result. Something is not what it seems. This could be concealed threat that will result in betrayal, or it could be something useful that one is ignoring or even avoiding. The turn of this card warns of such mistakes, but the mistake might have already been made, and the misunderstood beast spells out the results of such a mistake. Often this card suggests that one should look for aid from unexpected corners, but warily. In fact, what it really says is that if someone looks to be a friend, they are not, and those that seem to be a threat likewise are not. This is a hard advice to take, and obviously it is not always true, only when this card is turned. Okay. Something that seemed like it would be a threat is actually a boon. An NPC trusts the PC when they shouldn't. Okay. So, man, I don't know how to adjudicate this.
I trust your judgment, Zach.
Yeah, I think I will say this. The hard part about this is you can break the changery spell, but is going to leave them without their souls. That is something you cannot retrieve.
Right. Except
so-
for Ardenos, because
Right.
Kiri has that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I will say this. You can revert all of the changery changes to everybody in this immediate vicinity that you are, so basically Nikolai, Ethereal, and Ardeno, and as well as, strangely enough, Ota.
Oh, shit.
And so the thing about this is that will end all of their changery abilities. And
So
yeah.
the question that I have for you then is, are these all above a level 10 effect, which I believe they are? Okay, so I need to roll 3, and I do have advanced sortilege, so I do have I can roll the number of dice.
Mhm.
So the level of the effect serves as the challenge.
Mhm.
So I do need to know what that level is.
So this is going to be a 13.
Okay, again, the 13.
So I will say,
If I'm reading the spell right, you don't need to spend sortilege. If you have, you could spend a sortilege to roll 4 dice, but this is already giving you +2 for 3.
It's giving +2. I need to just do a sortilege for the third dice.
No,
it's
it's
get
+2 to the normal die. Everything's a die. +2. This is a +2, so 3 total.
Friends, you know how I can't do fucking math?
And
Like
then this
ever?
is the game for you.
I can't recommend Invisible Sun enough. If you love math, come on down.
And
If
it's
you
not-
hate it, you're fucking fucked forever.
And-
Unless you have
and-
really good teammates that will be like, you're a fucking dumbass who doesn't understand how numbers
But
work.
hey, rolling 4 dice is cool too.
I'm
Yeah,
not
roll-
doing that.
Okay, so I will say this: roll 3 dice because
Okay.
you do get those 3 dice. But
Yes.
if you want to spend any additional sorcery to try to buff this up, so you don't have to, it's once again the rule I'm going to manifest is for each success you get somebody.
Right. I like
Okay.
that rule. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm adding the level of the spell to the roll.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great.
You start with 10. Do you want
Yes.
to spend any sorcery, hidden knowledge, anything?
I like my odds with that because technically I just need to roll above 3s. So
Famous
we're
last words.
gonna go.
Okay.
I'm always right. I shall always trust my judgment. We have a 3, 6, and an 8 on the dice. So we
All right.
succeeded 3 times.
You watch as all of the changery kind of changes that were made to their respective forms fade away. Starting with Ardeno, he is no longer a burning pile of books floating in the air. He becomes corporeal, and his stout feet once again reach the ground, and all of the texts that make up his form reassemble. The next thing that you see is on top of this is Nikolai's form changes. The chains get shed off of his skin and once again dissolve, and he is once again in plain dress looking around strangely but vapidly. Finally, there is a moment where Ethereal Bob, the cage that surrounds and feeds into her central form, corrodes, rusts, and breaks off, and once again she is this free-spirited figure in diaphanous robes, and all 3 of them are looking vacantly into the air around them, seemingly unaware of what is transpiring. But once again, completely vacant. I think we're going to step out of action mode, and I think at this point it falls on you, Kiri. Oh, the last thing I will say is that Ota, all of the the cages begin falling out of her form, and the kind of part of her that was like half mannequin below her waist reverts into a pair of regular human legs as she finds herself kneeling in the middle of this terrifying sphere that Yadavastra has cast, and does not appear to be putting up any more of a struggle. We are going to move out of action mode. I'm going to change the music, and I think at this point, Kiri, I think it's up to you at this. So in this moment, Kiri, I think that urged by the remainder of Arwen's soul that is within you, you are pulled like a magnet towards the unthinking form of Ardeno. As you approach him, that is where we are going to pick up next time. So everybody, we're going to go ahead. I think just because it's so late, we're going to go ahead and forego sign-offs and or shout-outs and plugs tonight. We will do that for the next session. But guys, this was a great session. We're so happy that we get to finish off this story that has been 6 or 7 years in the making at this point. But guys, from the bottom of our hearts, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Be the change that you want to see in the world, and may the invisible sun shine on you all. Thank you, and good night.